You're watching Septum Sen versus the World. I'm Septum Sen, and I'm here with Kotobuki Jake.
Hi.
We're here to inform you about what's coming up in releases. We're off to a late start this week, mainly because I'm doing stuff that will require editing for both this video and our normal pickup videos, because we're incorporating the vlogcast into both. We're kind of splitting them.
We're trying to keep everyone on their toes.
Well, the way we look at it is that these are normally fairly short videos, and if you want to just get your info in, we're just going to give you the highlights, show you the clip, that beautiful bean footage, and then if you want to stay on for the news, you can stay on for the news. If not, you got your stuff, and you're good to go.
Stuff?
Exactly. The right stuff.
Ooh. Yeah, they have a few things this week, but that's not the main focus of the releases.
So, mainly this time around, we're just going to go ahead and give a little bit of the highlights. We've got Rick and Morty Season 3, which is the one that everybody obsesses over. When you hear about that Szechuan sauce, that's where that comes from. It does not come...
Are you meaning as far as the show goes?
Yeah, as far as the show goes, that's really where I saw like the fans go like ape for this thing.
Is that the one with the multiple reality Rick and Morty's?
That was started in Season 2.
Okay.
But Pickle Rick is Season 3.
Because that was the one that had the whole... Oh, geez, Pickle Rick.
And, you know, like I say, that's the whole Mulan Szechuan sauce thing. All of that comes from Season 3. I've not seen it yet, and I really need to see it.
I've seen Pickle Rick.
So, we'll see how it goes. And the other thing... Oh, sorry, and I'll let you grab anything juicy as a highlight.
Well, I was going to say, you didn't lead off with the biggest one of the week.
Well, Black Panther. But,
yeah.
But everybody knows Black Panther is coming out next week.
Well, obviously.
I mean, that's just an obvious one.
Yeah. So if you have not yet made it to Infinity War, you need to buy Black Panther, watch it, and get out to the other one.
Actually, that's pretty much it. That's all I have to throw out that I actually saw as significant.
He definitely isn't going to mention One Piece. One Piece and Bleach both have new sets coming out. And there's an old 80s film, The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai, getting a re-release.
Very strange, but it's a steelbook if you're looking into that.
But that's really, it's a pretty skimpy week. But there's some, and there's some sort of Die Hard re-release.
Yeah,
that's kind of, and some sort of Bill and Ted re-release apparently.
I mean, both of those the original films. You know, again, I'm not really in need of rebuying a lot of those again. But if you want them and you don't have them, this is a good time to get a really cool edition of them.
Yep. So, are we looking at the footage?
Yeah, let's roll that beautiful bean. So, I hope you all enjoyed that. And, of course, if you are leaving us, then we will see you again next week. But if not, we are here with the news. And we will start off with those
news of the world.
death notices. I have a number of them. We're not going to dwell on a lot of them, except for the ones that we really understand. And then if I leave any out, you tell me, and we'll see. But we'll start with 5-7. Oh, 5. Sorry, no, it's not today.
5-1.
5-1. Sun Ye died at age 87. She's a Taiwanese actress. Of course, again, if any of you know any of these, please leave us comments below if there's like films that you love by these particular actors and actresses.
Yeah.
So that we can get a better idea. John Jabo Starks died at 79. Apparently, he did drumming for James Brown and the JBs. The JBs. The JBs.
That's a whole different group there.
There's Max Baru, 74, Ecuadorian Chilean musician. You know of his work?
No. I'll be honest. I don't know most of the ones you wrote down. There's maybe a couple.
All right, we're moving on to 5-2. Wang Danfen, 93. A lot of old individuals here. To some Chinese actress passed. Wolfgang Volz, 87. German actor. Vadim Mullerman, 79. Soviet-born Ukrainian singer. I added that one for you. I thought maybe you would know. I know you listen to some of that stuff.
No, but I tell you, watching Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex 2, the opening theme to both of those, I believe, both of the Standalone Complex was a singer, Russian or Ukrainian singer who I think passed last year.
Huh.
And it's interesting going back and listening to it. I mean, she did have a real good voice. But...
Well, speaking of a Japanese series, I'll get back to this other one in a minute. Takayuki Inoue.
I probably do know that name, but I could not tell you offhand what I know it from.
I wonder if there's any relation to the other.
There's a lot of Inoues. I mean, you're probably thinking Kikuko Inoue.
Yeah.
But Marina Inoue and Kunihiko Inoue, I think I got that name right.
It might be related.
I guess it's a popular surname, but
Hua Maina. I'm probably really getting it bad.
This would be a really good time for that John Travolta clip.
Here to perform the Oscar-nominated, gorgeously empowering song "Let It Go" from the Oscar-winning animated movie Frozen. Please welcome the wickedly talented one and only Adele Dazeem.
I'll be doing that a lot this time around. Nigerian actress, she passed. Then there's Javier Aller, which I said that the French way, which probably also be considered sacrilege. A Spanish actor, he passed.
Probably Ayer if it's double L's.
Age 46. All right, now on to the third. Marcello Verziera. Boy, I really...
Marcello Verziera.
83, Italian actor and stuntman.
Okay.
Then there's Tony Kinman.
All right.
Age 62, rock singer and bass guitarist from Rankin File and the Dills. You might know that one.
Not offhand. I mean, the name sounds familiar, but...
A little bit. We're getting there.
Yeah.
Carlos Cavelho.
Yeah.
Another African African filmmaker, died at age 47.
Now, this one I wanted to talk about because I think this was the guy, right?
Well, that's the one who got
the
killed
cause
by the
of
giraffe.
death. Yes, struck by giraffe.
Not many people can say they died that way.
I mean, no, it's not funny, but it's kind of is.
Well, feel sorry for him and his family.
Yes.
Kathy Godbold, 43, Australian actress. There's Billy Forquest. Puerto Rican radio host and film actor. He passed at 57, as I said. Now, this one's interesting. He's actually a name I know, which is John Altamora, which he's known for playing the Toxic Avenger. Apparently, his birth date is a total secret. So nobody knows well, probably somebody, but nobody in the news knows how old he was when he died. We just know that he died.
Meanwhile, in Zimbabwe...
another actor of dubious age, Lawrence Sembarache.
We're up to May 5th by now.
Yeah, May 5th. He passed, and Zimbabwean actor. Then Pierre Ricien, 81, French film director and producer, passed. Then there's Fod Poldadov, age 69, Azerbaijani actor. A lot of foreign actors and actresses have passed this week, apparently. Robbie Little, age 73, producer of films like Prophecy 2, Zootsie, and An American Haunting.
That is a very random assortment there.
It's a very random assortment. But it goes to show you he can do really good or not so good with his producing. Adolfo Lastretti.
Admiral, we have enemy ships in Sector 47. It's a trap.
Died at age 80. He's an Italian actor. All right. On the 6th, Ray Sismanda. 91, radio personality. Apparently he's an American radio personality. Lei Ming, 90, Malaysian actress. Known for the film Taxi Taxi, which I have heard of briefly.
So have I at this point.
Paolo Ferrari, an Italian actor, died at age 89. And Romano Olmi, age 86, Italkian.
Wow.
Italkian director.
We don't even know what country that is. All right.
So that's a lot of death. Most of them... Okay.
That was weird.
That's my phone. My phone just had a hiccup. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and turn the sound off of my phone. Alright, so before we get into the news, though, I did want to say that I am really sad to see that the Toxic Avenger has fallen. I mean, he has brought us a lot, and that really is the face of trauma. I know that's really kind of a sad thing to see him pass. So I did want to bring back John Altamora because...
The Toxic Avenger, apparently.
Yeah, well, I was dealing with a lot of stuff with computers today. But it is sad to see him pass.
Yes.
For those of people here who like trauma, it is a sad day for that.
Yeah.
Whew. Now, news items. I will let you start off because I'm tired.
Okay, so after all of that, first thing we're going to start off with, I guess, will be, I guess we'll stick with the downbeat news just for a minute.
Yep.
With the big news from the past week, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences has doubled in one fell swoop the number of people expelled from their ranks. Last fall they did it, and now they've done it again. But basically, prior to last fall, the only person who'd ever been kicked out of the Academy was an Italian actor named Carmine Caridi, who apparently was kicked out for sharing screener copies. Which, you know, given the stuff that came after, that's kind of like Really?
That's how
They singled him out for that?
That's how a lot of us people who can't get to California get to see him sometimes.
Right.
As they get there, they get uploaded and see him.
And I think he's supposedly shared with a friend or something. Then last fall, in the wake of the Me Too movement, all these big things, Harvey Weinstein was kicked out of the Academy.
No surprise.
No surprise at all. But past week, they decided to double that number in the wake of Bill Cosby now becoming a convicted on 3 counts.
Yeah.
Bill Cosby and Roman Polanski, they decided finally after so many years, we can't keep going to bat for this guy. I mean, Polanski's brilliant. He has made some brilliant films. But the Academy kind of has egg on their face for having awarded him Oscars even as he was a fugitive.
Yeah.
They finally decided, okay, they're out. Who knows how many more are going to get kicked out in the coming months, but that's kind of notable that they have managed to go from 1 to 4 in just a few months.
Well, I have no disagreement with them being put out. The only thing that makes me a little bit leery is people may be starting to get ejected just for suspicion.
Yeah.
Like, somebody says, well, that person may have leered at me the wrong way. Oh, out.
I think though it is significant, even though you may personally wonder, I think it is a good call that they waited, and these two are now both convicted of wrongdoing. It is better than necessarily getting everyone who has rubbed someone the wrong way.
Oh yeah, I think I think if they're convicted, I really think that should be where you draw the line.
Yeah,
because otherwise, it just takes the word of one person who doesn't like another person, and then they're out, and that's all they'd have to do.
So, it was an interesting moment. Definitely not the high point of the week, but definitely one of the more notable newsworthy items. And actually, since the last time we did the news, the whole thing with Cosby kind of came through the pike, because it's been a couple weeks.
We talked about it last time.
Yeah, we did. And on a much more positive news, though, Avengers Infinity War hit 1 billion globally in 11 days.
Yep.
The fastest film to do it.
Making our money evaporate.
It is indeed. And Marvel and the mouse are grinning royally, not just for that, but Black Panther is still ranking it in. It made another, 3.5 million this weekend. It is on pace to hit 700 million domestically. It may not do it, but it is on pace to do it. And if it doesn't hit 700 million, it will be close.
There is one thing that I need to do. I'm going to do my own Infinity Stone and let there be extra light. And then there was light. Okay. So go on with the next
Do you want me to do all mine first? I can do that.
Might as well just unload it all.
Well, we're back to the bad news again. The only significant release news that I've heard this week, well, one is kind of cool, and we'll be getting to it soon. I've been watching what's being announced by Criterion, and some of their announcements come out well in advance, and some of them don't. Have you heard the most recent one one of the most recent ones they've added?
Oh, what's that?
They're doing a release of Bowling for Columbine.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah. That seems like an appropriate one.
That's one that's been kind of an up and down. It depends on where you lean on the spectrum. Because if you are supporting certain people, you just automatically hate Mr. Moore and his films just on principle because it's him. But at the same time, Bowling for Columbine, I really urge you, even if you don't agree with his political beliefs, I do urge you to check it out with an open mind. This isn't a all guns need to be banned movie necessarily. No. It's one that talks about recklessness with that can lead to problems. And he approaches it in a manner that, to me, is well worth the awards he got for it. I still say that's his best film.
It is pretty close. And Michael Moore, I will admit, the dude, as documentary filmmakers go, he is one of the worst offenders of inserting himself into the story.
Well, literally.
Yes. So that you could legitimately have a beef with that no matter what your politics. But he does make a very interesting, and he is good at putting an argument together. So this is kind of fun and kind of timely to see this. But as far as on the flip side, things falling out of circulation, I saw some very annoying licensed drops this week. Funimation is finally, after years of dithering on whether they should even have the license because they never bothered to finish the series, they're finally dropping Case Closed. And they're dropping Kenichi, the Mightiest Disciple.
Well, I'm kind of sad about Kenichi because Kenichi is something that was released fully, and I'd hate for somebody like NIS to get a hold of it. I don't know
NIS
if they will.
isn't going to.
Actually, if they're not by NIS, NIS usually doesn't bother to buy the rights
NIS
to
is not doing anything. They're done with the... Remember?
Oh, sorry, not NIS. Aniplex. I don't know. Was Kenichi actually done by Aniplex originally?
I don't remember the provenance of Kenichi.
See.
I don't.
You keep talking. I'll look it up and. See.
Now, of course, with Case Closed, we're talking one of the longest-running, most popular shows in Japan. The first 6 seasons, was it? First 6 seasons were released and re-released. They've done at least 2 releases. And they released a few of the movies here. Probably, about half of them, maybe? Yeah. But I think the total episode count of the American release is like 150. It's like a quarter or a fifth of the show's run so far. Not even that much. So, hopefully...
Look like they're involved in Kenichi, thank goodness.
Hopefully, the dropping of Case Closed means that someone else will pick it up. But it's unlikely because it's such a behemoth. You know, if there's anyone that has the budget to put it out, it's Funimation. So, now I wouldn't be surprised if Viz picks it up and does, 12-episode blocks for the next 20 years. That wouldn't surprise me at all.
Longer than that for Case Closed.
The other one, which is also kind of sad, even more so because I was so ecstatic when I got it for such a good price, and now Right Stuff is literally selling it off at bottom barrel prices. They've dropped Nozomi has dropped the license to Maria Watches Over Us.
Yeah, they got that down to like $9 a season,
and that's a shame. It's a highly acclaimed series. And Nozomi Right Stuff has put out, 2 or 3 releases of the series.
Yeah.
And they've had it for a while, and I guess it makes sense they want to move on, but it's such an acclaimed series, it seems like a shame to be letting it get out of print. Yeah.
Actually, though, as far as the Case Closed, that one I'm not so worried about, because it was doing nothing in Funimation's hands.
Yeah.
Dropping at least gives it a chance to do something.
Yeah.
I don't know who would pick it up, but
Media
maybe...
Blasters is going to buy the license and sit on it for the next 15 years.
But, what if somebody buys it that's, good at releasing big chunks? Like, let's say somebody that's, like, an independent one that wants to just, try and release things like that, like Eastern Star, and takes it and just releases it in 50 to 100 episode blocks.
See, I could see Eastern Star or Discotheque probably trying to do that one.
And then they could just keep doing that ever so often, and then you've got it moving forward. I would love to see it go beyond. There's a lot of it that's just not covered.
Part of me wants to see Aniplex get it and put it out 6 episode volumes
for $100.
Just to see if they actually think they can pull it off. But no, I don't really want to see that. But
see, the thing with Aniplex is pretty simple. If you look deep into it, if Aniplex was involved in the production, they'll release it. If Aniplex was not involved in the production, they won't touch it. That's something that you can at least go by. Now, Pony Canyon, however, they might. But
Dave?
Pony Canyon doesn't do a lot.
I was going to say, I think they've only been putting out stuff that they were involved with, wasn't it?
But I think TBS was behind Conan. But I could be wrong. Tokyo Broadcasting, not the other. Not Turner.
You sure?
So what else you got?
No, that was it, really.
All right, so...
Yeah.
Mine is very brief. I've only got 4 news items to discuss. One is, the only reason why I'm including is that it was included in the entertainment section of the news, which was about John McCain. We were talking about deaths earlier, and it looks like he is on the verge of it, and he knows it. He's planning his funeral. Be you sad, be you happy, be you meh. It is still, a significant individual's passing. I mean, the brain cancer was at level stage 4, I believe, when they detected it. So it's it was pretty likely. He's in his 70s now.
Oh, he's
80s?
older than that.
Yeah, so, I mean, it is what it is. But he's able to plan things out. The entertaining thing is that he has put into who he's going to invite to his funeral. So, the vice president has been invited. He's left off the president. So again, fans of the president, you got another target.
Well, I think McCain was already a target
That's
of them.
true. He's not exactly shown his love for the president at the time. But I thought it's interesting. I mean, it's like, even at the end, he's basically snubbing. He's basically doing that middle finger to him. So that's kind of the old McCain, and many people look at McCain. That's how they pictured it in his campaign with Sarah Palin. They were the Mavericks or whatever, which he wasn't at that campaign necessarily. But that
he was the Maverick. She was something else.
But that was what he was known for. He was known for being the one that didn't fall into line, the one that stood for his principles, and I guess now he's doing that. I guess now that he's at the end of his life, that's what he wants to do. He's willing to stand for him. So, that moving on. So some more interesting news. The one bit of gaming news I put up here. About the Nintendo Switch. Well, from those of you who have been following Switch news, and me as well carefully, because I have been very interested in eventually getting one. I've saved up the money to get one. So I just need to go ahead and buy it.
First step.
I saved up the money to get this or save for a PS5 later on. But I don't think the PS5 is going to be released before 2020. So I'm probably going to go for a Switch. That way I can play Skyrim no matter where I'm at. But from what I've heard, of course, the patent on this particular design was owned by someone else. So, they're being sued. They've been in the midst of this suit for a while. But now we've got the U.S. International Trade Commission getting involved, doing the investigation. We could see a halt to Switch production. That's at the worst level. More than likely, Nintendo will settle, paychecks will pass, and move on. Nintendo's making a mint off of this platform. I doubt they're going to take any chances. Unless they're arrogant, and Nintendo can be arrogant. They've got that right. It's like, nope, we're always right. We know what you want. We don't care what you want.
Mario.
And that's how we got the Wii U, which flopped. So Nintendo, settle. I don't know what your thoughts are about that.
I heard something about the Switch this past week. Not that, but something else, and I can't remember what it was.
Well, it's going to be interesting. The only problems with the Switch I see so far is that they're kind of crappy with their online, and they don't play well with streaming content. So no Netflix on the Switch.
Ah, Netflix. Oh, that reminds me another... well, you can continue, and then I'll do my Netflix rant.
Well, they've got some people out there. Speaking of a rant, there's about 2 of them, actually. Both by 2 famous directors. Against the system, in a way. James Cameron has gone on the record saying that he believes that Star Wars A New Hope was indeed the best film of 1977, and that Annie Hall should not even have been considered for the award. Now, many of you are probably Star Wars fans, and I'm sure that if we had said this about Empire Strikes Back, this would get a lot more backlash. But A New Hope? Really? You know, we are talking the Academy here. We're not talking People's Choice Awards.
No.
We're talking people who are, about like drama mostly. Yeah. They snub their noses at superhero films. And this one was kind of badly acted and stumbled through it. Did a lot of cool things.
Yeah.
And Empire fixed a lot of the acting and writing issues.
Empire is the better of the two films. I don't care what you think. It is the better of the two.
Most people would agree. Now, if you disagree and you think Cameron is right, that it was indeed the best film of 77, let me know why in the comments below. Mm-hmm. And to end my news segment, and you can go on your own little rant, just keep it under under 5. Scorsese, yes, that's Scorsese, not the one on the noodle boxes. Actually, there is no Scorsese on well, there might be. I don't know.
Scorsese, I have no idea where you are. You've lost me.
I don't know. I've lost myself. But Scorsese, the director, is on a rant against Rotten Tomatoes. He says that it has devalued cinema. Maybe they rated one of his films badly. I don't know. But people... Now, to me, little rant on my own, I do feel that people put too much on Rotten Tomatoes before they go into something. Mm-hmm. I mean, me, I look on IMDb, but I usually do it as just a fun thing. Mm-hmm. I actually avoid Rotten Tomatoes simply because people rely on it almost exclusively for whether they like a film or not. Mm-hmm. And don't do that. Mm-hmm. Look at a film trailer, read some minor things, look at some people that you don't mind as a reviewer, but in the end, if it's a premise that you like, if it's actors you like, director or writer that you like, the likelihood is you will like the film, regardless of what they said.
Yeah.
I've had films on Rotten Tomatoes that score crap that I love. I mean, Hawk the Slayer is a good example.
Conversely, though, Dark Tower.
Well, Dark Tower, I can't say. I've never watched it.
Yes, well, I can say that is one that I would have hated, that we didn't see, partly because of the advanced reviews. But once I finally did see it, I'm like, if I had walked into the theater not being on my guard, I would have hated it. I went in after... I didn't get to the theater. I watched it on video later on DVD. And I was well aware of the reputation it had already built. And that can be a godsend sometimes. Because if you go in when your expectations are too high... I also would have hated Suicide Squad more than I did. Yeah. I didn't like it, but I would have hated it.
But again, I still say people put too much emphasis into
everything in moderation.
I mean, I agree that you might be able to use it as a guide, but at the same time, don't go hating on a movie because the movie got a bad score on Rotten Tomatoes if you ain't seen that movie yet. If you really want to hate on a movie, watch the movie, hate it yourself, and then tell them why you hated it.
Unless it's 50 Shades of Grey.
Well, I've seen that, unfortunately, so I can say I hate that movie, and I think it's gotten too high a score.
Sadly, I'm going to have to say that one of these days, because it's an Oscar nominee. What was that we were just saying before? But
the music did deserve the nod.
Yeah,
it had some really good.
And the Oscars do have a, let's be charitable, checkered past when it comes to the movies that get music nods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, your Netflix rant.
Okay.
I don't want to go on a rant here, but America's foreign policy makes about as much sense as Beowulf having sex with Robert Fulton at the First Battle of Antietam. I mean, when a neoconservative defenestrates, it's like Raskolnikov filibuster deoxymonohydroxynate. The hell does rant mean?
Okay, so we have discussed in the past couple weeks Spielberg's opinion on Netflix and movies, and I do agree. I don't stream. I don't intend to. If I can avoid it. I have too big a backlog of physical media. I do not have an enormous budget. I don't like sitting in front of a computer for hours on end watching something I could watch on the television.
I do watch it on television.
Well, you have all the fancy toys. So, the point is, for a lot of people, streaming is not necessarily a viable option. It's not a preferred option for a lot of people. And then there's people where it's neither. So, when a movie, a high-profile movie or TV show, is only available to the people who subscribe to a particular platform, that is very irritating. And if organizations like the Academy or Cannes want to say, screw you guys, you're not a real movie, well, I am on their side. Cannes told Netflix, you're not screening your movies at our festival. So, Netflix, they got in a war of the words for about a month or so there. But this is the part that I found out today that has me kind of pissed. The new film by Asghar Farhadi, who's fast becoming one of my favorite directors. A film's called Everybody Knows. It's going to have Javier Bardem and Penelope Cruz.
Oh, okay.
So right there, you know I'm going to see
this. Is that a
this.
Leonard Cohen movie?
Huh?
I think everybody knows. I think
No.
Leonard Cohen.
It'd be cool if they have like a Spanish version of that song or something. But anyway, so you have Farhadi's first non-Iranian film, from what I can tell, with a phenomenal cast. I want to see this movie. And a report is coming out that Netflix is looking to buy it. No. No. Netflix, no.
Well,
Anyway, or if you do, put it in the damn theater and release it on home video. Do not make it a streaming-only movie. And to the Academy, if Netflix buys this movie, don't nominate it, because I don't want to have to worry about a bunch of Netflix movies cluttering up your nominees next year.
now, I do agree. I think that if Netflix, I really think Netflix should be treated as a TV.
Yes.
More so, like if a movie
Emmys.
is released only on Netflix,
Yes.
it should be considered a TV movie.
Emmys and Golden Globes, not Oscars.
I mean, I do worry about Icarus ever getting a release on DVD. But you know, at the same time, I understand Netflix and its model. It wants to get seen, it wants to survive, and the big bomb is getting ready to drop. Disney is going to yank every Marvel property. They're going to yank all of their films. They're going to yank all of Fox's films. They're going to yank basically every film that they've got under their massive empire so that they can put it under their streaming service, which will probably suffer from the same issues that Netflix has. Because Disney is also really bad about releasing on Blu-ray, about TV series especially.
Right.
But again, who knows? This is the world of streaming. Most people will say to you, "Well, everybody's going to have the internet. You don't need physical media." But to me, I disagree. Well, you can obviously tell by the background. I disagree. Physical media, I will always stand by physical media. That's what this channel is about. It's about physical media. When we cover new releases, we're not covering streaming only releases. Those can wait. If they ever decide to do a physical release, I will cover it coming out. But until then,
if they do a physical release of Icarus or Mudbound or Beasts of No Nation, or
I
will get them.
Yep.
But they need to release them. That's the thing that ticks me off with Netflix. One is these are not theatrical releases. And two, they're not made available unless you're streaming on their site. Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
That's been around, and
Yeah.
that has been your news. So let me know what you like, if you like this format or not. Do you like having the news at the end of this, or would you prefer it staying with the pickups? Or do you feel like we should just, again, try for the vlogcast and throw all of it on there? Let us know in the comments. Let us know if there's anything that you heard today that you'd like to hear more about, or that you have a comment on. And of course, like, share, subscribe, and we will see you on the next one.